What's up, Ragin Nation? My name is Alex Yu and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review, and I'm here to talk about Act of Valor. When I first saw the trailer for Act of Valor, I got really excited, and that is not only because I like these types of modern warfare movies, it is because they said that the characters in this movie are portrayed by real active duty US Navy SEALs. The weapons and tactics are real, but the story is fictional. And because of mentioning that, it sounds like they use this as a marketing tool for the movie because they're trying to get in more action fans who want to see real action, and that is exactly what you get in this movie. So when I first heard that they were using active duty Navy SEALs, I was thinking, were they actually going to do all the acting, including the drama and the dialogue? Or were they going to get actors do all the drama sequences and then have the Navy SEALs in the background? So for example, you would have the actor play the soldier in the foreground, and then when they're doing the real stunts and the shooting with the live fire, they would actually use Navy SEALs. Well, we got none of that. There was no digital face replacement. The Navy SEALs did everything. So you know how in Saving Private Ryan they got Tom Hanks and Matt Damon to go camping? Well, in Act of Valor, they got the US Navy SEALs to take Drama Class 101, but I'll get into that later. I watched this movie on a Tuesday, that's 5 days after its opening day, so I've already heard a lot of people say how the acting is bad, the story is non-existent, and the movie feels like a feature-length a Navy SEAL recruitment commercial. When I hear stuff like that, it's really annoying, so I tried to block that out of my head so that I give this movie a fair chance at entertaining me. You know, I hate it when people actually say that a movie has no story. Every movie has a story. You cannot have a movie without a story. It's just that some stories are more complex than others. For a movie dealing with Navy SEALs and anti-terrorism, I don't really need a complex story. I don't need a story with a twist ending. I don't need to know that it was a dream within a dream within a dream, or I don't need to know that Bruce Willis was dead all along. All I really need for a movie is a story, some characters, a climax, and maybe some storytelling tools such as action, comic relief, suspense, romance, whatever. This movie is about terror coming to American soil and these people doing some extraordinary things to prevent that from happening. And it's a good story. It's not a great story that's super incredible, but it's a good enough story to keep me interested. Now, with regards to this movie being inspired by true life events, I think what they really did was that they took a mishmash of all the real life missions that the Navy SEALs have been on, and they condensed it into an hour and 40 minutes. They take us to all these different locations all over the world, and then they just try to put in as much as they can, and they do this in a really short amount of time. Okay, anyways, now I want to talk about the acting. As I was watching this movie from the beginning to the middle, I was thinking that maybe the critics were being a little too harsh about the acting. The acting really isn't all that bad. But as the movie progressed and Rourke and Dave, that's the two main guys, when they were exchanging dialogue, I was thinking, okay, this is pretty bad. This is almost as bad as, or equal to, or greater than being as bad as Jake Lord or Hayden Christensen delivering dialogue in the Star Wars prequels. It is so bad that it is pretty distracting. It really takes you away from the movie. The critics weren't lying about it. It is that bad. But I must say that for Navy SEALs, they did a decent job. I mean, these guys are soldiers. They're killing machines. They're elite. They're the best of the best. And this is what they do. They're not actors, so I didn't expect anything totally extraordinary. But at the same time, I also didn't expect something so unbelievable. In fact, you can tell who is an actor and who hasn't acted a day in their life. But it does showcase how good these Navy SEALs are at doing their job. But from a storytelling standpoint, it poses a slight problem because it kind of shows that these Navy SEALs are a bit too good, almost to the point that they're invincible. I don't feel any sense of danger or suspense for these guys because it looks like that they simply can't be hurt. But that's actually a tough argument from a critical standpoint because these guys have to be good at their job to stay alive. However, like I said before, your character has to be believable for us to care about them, for us to care whether they survive or not, for us to care whether they make it out of a firefight alive. So there lies the problem. But I will say that when these guys are in action, it is the real deal, and that is simply why this movie needs to be seen. When you market a movie saying that the Navy SEALs, the tactics, and the weapons are real, That means you want to attract the type of crowd who actually want to see this movie for that reason alone. It's kind of like a Michael Bay movie, how the story only really serves one purpose, and that is a tool to bring us to the next big action sequence. The action in this movie is really amazing and actually very believable, and this is exactly why you need Navy SEALs to be in this movie. This is also where their skills pay off, even in the dialogue. And I don't mean the drama dialogue or any of the acting scenes. I'm talking about when they're in action. I didn't understand a single word of any of their military lingo, but it just sounds really authentic. It's kind of like a code we're not really meant to understand because we don't know what it's like to be them, but when they speak it, it just sounds so real and really cool. So in that sense, the movie does do a great job in delivering real action. But aside from the acting, the movie isn't without other flaws. The vision of the directors needs some work. It's directed by the Bandito brothers, so they're working as a pair, and I think that is a flaw because of that, you have two different visions. It wants to be Black Hawk Down. In fact, it's being compared to Black Hawk Down. In another sense, the movie wants to be a glorified action movie which appeals to first-person shooter fans. And you can totally tell that because I don't think it's by pure coincidence that this movie just happens to have a lot of sequences which show the action from the first-person perspective. And with regards to Black Hawk Down, these movies are only similar in the sense that they are both movies dealing with modern warfare. But ultimately, these are two different types of movies. Black Hawk Down showcased the brotherhood of the soldiers and the horrors of war. On the other hand, Act of Valor plays out more like a military action thriller. I know that in real life, the brotherhood is there amongst the Navy SEALs, but it just wasn't evident in the movie, and I think that it was mainly because of their lack of acting experience. It just wasn't believable enough. And this movie really doesn't showcase them as heroes, but more professionals who are determined to carrying out a mission no matter how dangerous it is. And the directors did do a good job with that, but I'll have to deduct them points for putting a little bit too much camera shake in the wrong times. I'm no Hollywood director, but I do appreciate shaky cam at the right places. It's kind of like they just put in the shaky cam just for the sake of putting it in. It's like, hey guys, we need more camera shake. We need more camera shake. Now people are saying that this movie is like a Navy SEAL recruitment commercial. And I really hate that comment because it's so cliche. But when you watch this movie, it's actually true. All you need is that 1-800-GO-NAVY-SEALs caption at the bottom and then it's complete. With the way that some of the action sequences are so well shot, you know that the directors can't deny that this could be a recruiting tool and that some moviegoers might consider signing up. Also, with this movie being an hour and 40 minutes long, the Navy SEALs sure do go through a lot. We get to see a lot of the aspects of what they do. In fact, it makes me feel that the directors wanted the audience to see everything of what the Navy SEALs do because they just thought it was cool. From halo jumping to getting into frog suits to recon to VBSS to going into a submarine to a night vision, and they also show off a lot of military hardware. I was just thinking, wow, the Navy sure got its money's worth because they no longer need to loop those commercials on basic cable. All you gotta do is just play Act of Valor on TV and there's your ad. Anyways, with that being said, I want to remind people I'm reviewing this movie as a movie. I'm not gonna treat this movie any differently or review it any differently just because there are active duty Navy SEALs in it. At the end of the day, this is still a movie, and because of that, what makes up a great movie is great story, great characters, acting, drama, action, story development, etc. This movie lacked in some of those departments, and because of that, I give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. I was gonna give the movie a 7 out of 10, but it's just because of those drama and dialogue sequences, especially between Roke and Dave. It's just really unbelievable, and it's distracting. It takes you away from the movie. And I gotta say that the movie also has some plot holes and is quite predictable. I absolutely respect what the Navy SEALs do for their country. They're extraordinary people and they're out there risking their lives every day and as we speak. But I'm here to review this movie as a movie in every aspect of a movie. So before anyone decides to knock my review, let's just keep the politics out of it. We're dealing with a very serious and real subject matter, but let's not forget that a movie is meant to entertain. And I was entertained. 6.5 out of 10. Check it out. I recommend watching this movie on the big screen while it's on the big screen. As always, if you enjoyed this video, show me some support by hitting that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, and also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu, and thanks for watching another episode of the Ragin Ronin Review. I'll see you next time. Peace. And they're really sizing each other up. That's where you see where the main chemistry is, and it provides a lot of comic relief for the audience. And those scenes really do work more than the action.